Okay, real talk. Have you ever sat there and thought, wait, what happened to Danish bubblegum pop group Aqua?
What would you like to buy each other for Christmas?
You want to grow your hair, but you never have the patience to grow it.
No, that's right.
So I'll buy you a nice wig.
You know, the chaotic geniuses that gave us that Barbie girl anthem that basically soundtracked our childhoods and also low-key corrupted our little innocent minds.
I think we always had sort of broad following, not deliberately towards kids or teenagers.
But let me tell you, behind the neon wigs, the fake smiles, and the sugary beats, Aqua was a hot mess express on a crash course straight into Scandal Town. From bitter fallouts, nasty lawsuits, to secret beefs and scandals juicier than anything you could ever squeeze out of a Ken doll.
I totally understand why some people do hate us, you know. I'm not going to argue with that.
So why don't we dive into the scandalous, outrageous, and honestly kind of tragic life of Aqua Band? Cause trust me, we came with all the receipts. But before Aqua Band was out here singing about plastic dolls with questionable morals and dragging us into their bubblegum fantasy world, they were just a bunch of musically confused Danes trying to find their groove.
We're trying to find the middle way of performing, because the way we perform already now is not like a normal pop band with this synchronic dancing and things like that.
So why don't we rewind and take a look at how it all started? Soren Rosted and Klaus Noreen, two low-key music nerds, won a contest, and their prize, producing a soundtrack for a low-budget film. Huge opportunity, right? But clearly, they knew they needed some flavor because they brought in Renee Diff, a club DJ with more energy than a Red Bull-fueled rave, to add some spice. And you know what? Apparently, that soundtrack slapped because once the movie dropped, the trio said, why stop now? And just like that, the idea for a band was born. But hold up, every pop group needs a star. And as entertaining as Renee's yelling was, they were missing that sparkle of a lead singer. That's when fate and possibly a boat ticket stepped in. Renee met Lene Nystrom on a boat where she sings to passengers, and she immediately caught Renee's eye. And not just musically, but we'll get into that later. Now, here's where it gets crazy. Somehow Renee pitches to Lene to leave her stable fairy singing job and join a band with three dudes she's never met. Now, if that were me, I'd be pulling the emergency life vest and swimming away. But Lene must have been either fearless or flattered because she said yes. Anyway, fast forward to 1995 and the newly formed group drops their first single ever, Itsy Bitsy Spider, under the name Joy Speed. And I'd be shocked if Lene didn't consider returning back to her fairy job because the single was a major flop. It was so bad that the four canceled their contract with their record label. But Aqua, well, Joy Speed back then, wasn't about to let a flop define them. They regrouped, fired that crusty old label, and got themselves a new manager and a real deal upgrade, Universal Music. Now, what's a complete rebrand without a new name? And here's the part that kills me. They renamed themselves Aqua after seeing a random ass poster in their dressing room that said Aqua. Yeah, that's literally it. No deep meaning, just graphic design is our band name now. Anyway, come September 1996, Aqua was done played. They released Roses Are Red and finally some chart action. The single stayed hot for 2 whole months and went platinum. They quickly followed up with their single, My Oh My, in February 1997. And this one was a chart smasher. The single broke all Danish sales and got certified gold within 6 days. But if you think that was Aqua at their peak, oh no. Grab a chair, maybe a cocktail, because what came next was a full-on cultural earthquake. May 1997, Barbie Girl drops, and the world lost its mind. Suddenly, singing about a plastic doll with very adult themes became the hottest thing on earth. The single went #1 in the UK and Australia, and Aqua was everywhere. MTV, TRL, CD singles, your cousin's birthday party, everywhere. Even your grandma was probably humming it, pretending not to notice the whole life in plastic, it's fantastic situation. But while the world was dancing like deranged Barbies at a glitter rave, backstage, The glue holding Aqua together was melting faster than a knockoff Ken doll in a microwave. And what better place to dive into the drama than that infamous lawsuit? You know, the one that turned the world's most iconic doll into a courtroom diva. So here's the tea. Turns out the real Barbie company wasn't exactly thrilled with Aqua turning their innocent childlike toy into a sexual fantasy. They claimed the song turned Barbie into a blonde bimbo, and trust me, Mattel was not having it. In December 2000, Mattel filed a lawsuit against the group's record label, MCA, claiming that, wait for it, Barbie Girl had damaged the reputation of the Barbie brand. But MCA wasn't about to sit there and let themselves get legally slapped by a toy company. Oh no, they clapped back with a First Amendment defense, basically saying it's a toy, Karen, relax. And honestly, they had a point. But this wasn't some cute little cease and desist letter with pink borders and glitter stickers. This was a 2-year-long, high-stakes legal battle over a song about a plastic doll. You can't make this stuff up. In 2002, the judge finally ruled in favor of the band, advising both parties to chill. Yep, like seriously, that was in the official statement. Now, here's the million-dollar question. What did the lawsuit do to Aqua's career? Let's be real. The lawsuit brought even more attention to Aqua. And if you didn't know Barbie Girl before, you sure did after that. Now, you think the whole lawsuit problem would have dimmed Aqua's shine, but not this band. In February 2000, they released their second album, Aquarius. With singles like Cartoon Heroes, Bumblebees, and Around the World, the albums blew all over charts in Europe. But the grind didn't stop there. In 2001, Aqua spent the first few months touring internationally, while also working on materials for their third album. And with all that success, you'd think Aqua would be tighter than ever, right? Wrong. In 2001, the band split up, and their reason? It was basically the musical equivalent of the speech your ex gave you. It's not you, it's me. They said, and I quote, "We've looked each other in the eye and reached the conclusion that for the moment, the spark is missing." Like, what does that even mean? How could y'all have lost your spark if you're already working on your third album?
When we finished in 2001 as a group, we pretty much did a third album where we never went to produce and finish it off.
Make it make sense. But while they were busy trying to sell us the whole "we lost our spark" BS, once you peel back the glittery carpet, it really gets juicy. Remember earlier when we said Renee discovered Lene Nystrom on a boat and was all heart, eyes, and charm? Well, turns out they did start dating. Sounds cute and all, right? Yeah, that was until Lene decided to pull a whole plot twist and switch boyfriends. She did a full 180 and started dating Soren Rasted, the keyboard guy. And if that wasn't messy enough, Lene and Soren got married in 2001. Now, you just know Renee was somewhere in the corner, side-eyeing that marriage like it owed him money. I mean, imagine showing up to rehearsal and the girl you were in love with is now booed up with your bandmate. In the words of every Real Housewife ever, the tension was thick. And when you've got a love triangle happening right in the middle of a 4-person band, yeah, it was only a matter of time before the whole Aqua fantasy came crashing down like a Barbie convertible hitting a pothole. Now, when a band breaks up, everyone suddenly thinks they're Beyonce. But trust me, not everyone is built for the spotlight alone. And when it came to Aqua, their solo careers were the definition of a slow-motion train wreck in glitter boots. In 2003, Lene strutted back into the pop scene with her debut solo album, Play With Me. Now, with a title like that, you'd think it was going to be a sexy, playful chart topper, right? So wrong. This album flopped hard. It was like the world collectively shrugged and said, "We liked you better with the boys, babe." But don't worry, she wasn't alone in the flop parade. Soren also burst into the scenes, but this time, he ditched Aqua's sugar-coated sound and decided to bless us with a whole new genre that he invented himself, which he called, wait for it, rhythm and speak. Trust me, I can't make this up. He rolled it out with his 2004 project under the name Lazy Boy. Even the name sounds like it gave up before trying. The album was called Lazy Boy TV, and let me tell you, the reviews were brutal. The lead single, Underwear Goes Inside the Pants, while it did barely scrape its way into the UK Top 40, pretty much went straight to bargain bin heaven after that. So after these unsuccessful solo detours, the gang must have had a collective, wait, we were actually good together.
To pop, straight up pop music, because it's what we're good at, and we don't want to run away from it. We can't run away from it.
Moment, because by 2007,
Please think about, should we do a tour in Denmark? And my first reaction was, yeah, let's do it.
Aqua reunited, even dropping a third album in 2011 called Megalomania. So after all that drama and struggles, what is the group Aqua up to in 2025? Well, first off, let's talk about the recent resurgence of Barbie Girl. In 2023, Aqua got another fat royalty check when Nicki Minaj and Ice Spice sampled Barbie Girl for the Barbie movie soundtrack.
Of the best rappers in America, taking our song in and making a revival of it.
But don't get it twisted, cause it's not just passive income and pop princess collabs keeping Aqua fed. As of 2025, they are still touring. Lene's still belting, Renee's still yelling into mics like he's trying to summon the rave gods, and the band still giving us neon nostalgia and just the right amount of midlife crisis energy to make you scream every word to Dr. Jones in a sequin crop top. But let's talk coins, because what's a pop legacy without the cha-ching? With over 33 million albums sold worldwide, Aqua is collectively worth over $16 million. Not too shabby for a group that once thought Itsy Bitsy Spider was a solid debut plan, right? So, at the end of the day, after the lawsuits, the love triangles, and the solo career flops, and that one song that refused to die, what will Aqua really be remembered for? Not just as Denmark's most profitable musical export, sorry Hamlet, but also as the unapologetically weird, fantastically cheesy band that gave the 90s a neon-colored fever dream we'll never quite recover from. And honestly, isn't that what it means to be an icon?